Hey everyone, welcome to Gaming Update. Tonight we'll be covering Japanese censorship, Flammable Wiis, and the rise and fall, and possible rise again, of Destiny. Warning, if your Destiny remains risen for more than 4 hours, see a doctor immediately. House of Wolves, Destiny's second major expansion, launched this week to critical acclaim. Reviewers are praising the DLC for addressing many of the criticisms that Destiny has faced since launch. You guys remember Destiny? Yeah, me neither. Boom! Roasted. Okay. Destiny can be called a fair number of things, but here we'll call it a massive multiplayer online role-playing game first-person shooter, or MMORPG FPS KFC SUV. It's a first-person shooter game with RPG elements that takes place within a massive online world, or rather, a mythic science fiction version of our own solar system. Destiny was the first franchise to be developed by Bungie Studios since Halo, so understandably, there was a lot of excitement behind this new IP. This game aimed to combine the fast-paced, adrenaline-filled action of FPS games with the longevity that you'd find in an MMO. Now that's one hell of a goal, but near as anyone could tell, Bungie was setting up to hit it out of the park. And when Bungie announced that the game would feature the vocal talents of Game of Thrones actor Peter Dinklage, the internet just went, oh.
Yes! Oh my god!
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
By this point, the hype train had left the station, and the conductor was dead at the wheel, so there was no stopping this bitch. But then the game came out and it was just, alright? I mean, it's not bad or anything, it still has a 75% on Metacritic, but what the hell? This game was supposed to be like the second coming of Jesus. So what happened? Well, the plot was a main point of criticism for a lot of journalists. Destiny's storyline is shallow, and its narrative is pretty disjointed, like trying to read a Game of Thrones after someone's already ripped out every other page disjointed. Bungie seemed to have the outline of an amazing story, but players were never really invited into it. And the plot essentially just served as a backdrop for players to gander at while they ran from one abandoned warehouse to the next. And that pretty much sums up the gameplay also. You'll spend the majority of this game escorting Peter Dinklage from one place to the next, protecting him from mobs of enemies while he hacks into various terminals. To be honest, I didn't even know what the hell he was hacking half the time anyways. I mean, if I had to wager a guess, I would assume he was looking for those nude photos of Jennifer Lawrence. Do we have a graphic on that? No, we don't, because this is a classy show. Oh, we do? So the gameplay can be a little repetitive, okay. But what about the Borderlands-style loot system? Occasionally, killing enemies causes them to drop these gem-like items called engrams. Engrams come in 5 different rarities: common green, rare blue, legendary purple, and exotic yellow. You then take these engrams to a vendor in the main hub of the game, and he decodes them into functional weapons and armor. This guy is called the Cryptarch. He's also called an asshole because late game, when you start to bring in more legendary and exotic engrams, you'll quickly realize that giving him a legendary engram doesn't always result in a legendary item, and in fact, there's about a 66% chance that the item that he'll give you is completely useless to the character class that you selected. The Cryptarch is like a slot machine that only takes 4-leaf clovers, and when you finally find one to give him, he awards you with maxi pads. Like, I get that this is something that someone would find useful, but it's not really something that I need. Now, when a game exploits players like this, it's really no surprise when you find players trying to exploit the game back. And this came in the form of the infamous Loot Cave. The Loot Cave was a glitch where players could arrange themselves a set distance outside of this cave in-game that would cause enemies to respawn infinitely. Mowing down these enemies resulted in an endless stream of engrams. Bungie quickly patched the Loot Cave for a lot of reasons, but one of which I would imagine is that they didn't want the phrase 7 guys shooting rounds down a cave to accurately describe the Destiny gameplay experience. It is, however, a great title for a Snow White porn parody. Oh, and if you thought Peter Dinklage was going to save this game with an award-winning performance, think again. Here's just a little taste of the performance that Peter Dinklage was giving throughout the game.
The Hive haven't been on Earth in centuries. That wizard came from the moon.
Holy fucking shit, Dinklage. Now, I'll grant you that "these wizards came from the moon" is probably the dumbest sentence that mankind has yet to fathom, but your delivery is far from immaculate. I mean, somebody recorded Dinklage saying these lines and then went, "Hey, nailed it, man." I mean, who was directing these performances And why were they slipping Peter Dinklage Ambien between takes? Also, and this is just my own personal criticism, I feel like the massive multiplayer aspect of the game fell a bit flat. The game is always online in order to facilitate this feeling of being within a connected world, but I rarely ever felt that way. In-game, I only ever saw 1 or 2 people, so it never really felt like I was part of this big ecosystem. Instead, it felt like I was playing a single-player campaign with some random guy in the background doing the Dougie.
They be like, Smooth, what? Can you teach me how to Dougie? You know why? Cause all the girls love me.
All criticisms aside, Destiny is still a remarkable game. It's gorgeous, for starters, features the kind of amazing level design that you would expect from Bungie. The controls are great, the multiplayer is fun, and I think it does a really good job of capturing the awe and mystery of interstellar exploration. The reviews for Destiny's latest DLC, House of Wolves, are incredibly positive, with many journalists claiming that it brings Destiny up to the level of expectations that were set prior to the game's release. Specifically, the DLC added a metric shit ton of very much needed content. So if you haven't revisited Destiny since its launch like myself, and you don't mind the $20 price tag, then it seems like now is a great time to get back into it. Japanese gamers that purchased Dying Light were disappointed to find that the Japanese retail release of the game had censored gore. This censorship, oddly enough, came in the form of altering the color of in-game blood from red to green. Now, censorship of this type isn't uncommon in Japan, but gamers still criticize the decision for ruining the mood of the game. And I mean, can you blame them? These two look like they drowned in a pool of baby food. And this guy just looks like he ate too much Taco Bell. Is Taco Bell a sponsor? Oh,
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
A patch came out earlier this week for the console versions that changes the color of the blood back to red. I'm guessing the entire thing was just a stunt to duck under Japanese censorship laws, but I mean, come on, Japan, you guys have put out more disturbing shit than this.
コンソメコンソメコンソメパンチポンチじゃないよコンソメパンチうまさが効いてるコンソメパンチコンソメコンソメコンソメパンチ
Now, some of you may have heard about the man in Colorado whose home recently burned down from a fire that is suspected to have been caused by an inactive Wii console. Now, this is not only a heartbreaking story, but a mildly alarming one to many Wii owners. At this point, there's no reason to suspect that this was anything other than an unfortunate freak accident. However, we have had one man contact us claiming that his home also burned down from a fire that he suspects was as well caused by a Wii console. And we go to him live now. Joining us live via satellite is Bartholomew Hot Pocket. Bart, thanks for joining us. I understand that you're dealing with a lot right now, so we'll try to keep this brief. But I understand you've recently suffered a house fire caused by what you suspect was your Wii console. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Fucker burnt my RV straight to the ground. Couldn't believe it. Straight to the fucking ashes.
Okay, can you detail the events leading up to the fire that destroyed your home?
Yep, I was actually asleep. I just finished off a sweet, sweet pack of Marlboro Reds. I could go for one right now in this Motel 6. When I woke up to ashes around, I don't know what was happening, but I knew there was fire.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry, did you just say you fell asleep while smoking?
Yeah, Wes, my furnace had been kinda wonky that night, so I went into my kitchen, opened up my oven, turned that son of a bitch on high, man. It was so hot in my room you could roast my nuts on an open fire. That shit put me to sleep right quick, West. Right quick.
Okay, alright, you're throwing a lot of stuff at me right now that's making me think that maybe the Wii wasn't necessarily What are you doing?
You know, it's beautiful in a way.
Are you literally playing with fire?
It's almost majestic like.
Okay. How long ago did this happen exactly?
Roughly a week ago, give or take.
Okay, so then why do you look like you were just pulled out of a fire?
It was an unrelated incident.
Okay, I think this was a mistake.
Nintendo burned my house down, West. I ain't gonna stand it until they give me my due reparations. I want my money. I want my money now, Nintendo. My Nintendo Wii burnt me down. Nintendo, you burnt down my house and I want my reparations right now. reparations and Rice Krispie treats, Nintendo. That's what I want. I played your Wii games, I juggled my shit, I did bowling, and all of a sudden my house is on fire? Huh, it pisses me off so much my mustache is about to fall right off. Nintendo, I'm coming for you with my reparations. Yes, indeed. And other than that, Wes, fuck you.
Get low when the whistle go.
It's a first-person shooter video game with RPG elements that takes...
Yeah, that's right. Fucker burnt my Arby's. Burn my Arby's right next to my house, all the way down.
I'm Wilford Brimley. I got diabetes.
Chilly night in Arizona at 65 degrees. I knew this was going to happen. All right, tape.
Or rather, a mythic science fiction version of our own solar system. It's a first-person shooter game with a mythic science fiction version of our own solar system. Great job, Wes. You nailed that line. You f***ing killed it. You make him take a hot shit here and get that on camera.
Dude, I'm about ready to swap my dick off.